Borderlands 4 is finally here after years of hype, trailers, and promises of the most chaotic looter shooter ever. What we actually got? A game so unoptimized it makes Cyberpunk 2077's launch look like a polished Apple keynote.
This isn't Borderlands 4, it's Laglands 4.
The trailers show us fluid combat, vibrant worlds, and guns that looked like they were designed by a caffeinated raccoon. But the final product? Frame rates dropping harder than your Wi-Fi when someone microwaves popcorn, textures loading in on delay like they're running on Windows 95.
And let's not forget the crashes.
Because nothing screams next-gen gaming like staring at your desktop while Claptrap mocks you from the taskbar. Steam reviews are already meme material. Mixed is the polite way of saying
Buy at your own risk unless you enjoy watching your GPU cry.
people with NASA tier PCs are struggling to hit stable FPS, while some reviewers swear their rigs sounded like jet engines mid-takeoff. Forget Moxie's bar, the hottest thing in Borderlands 4 is your graphics card overheating. But the real tragedy? The Borderlands formula is still there. The loot's wild, the humor's borderline insane, the characters are dripping with personality, yet all of it gets buried under performance issues so bad they deserve their own freaking DLC.
If your main boss fight is against the frame rate, that's not gameplay, that's freaking torture.
So yeah guys, strap in because this isn't just a review, it's a roast session, and trust me, Borderlands 4 handed us enough material to last longer
Then it's optimization patches.
Remember those flashy Borderlands 4 trailers? The gunfights looked smooth, the explosions cinematic, and everything screamed next-gen masterpiece. The marketing team deserves an Oscar for best visual effects.
Because whatever game they were showing us, it sure as hell wasn't the one we bought.
In the trailers, enemies exploded into colorful showers of loot. In reality, they exploded into frame stutters that make you think your monitor's dying. Weapons? They looked sharp and insane, like rocket launchers that shoot tornadoes. But in-game, half the guns feel like they're firing out of sync with your screen.
It's like every bullet takes a coffee break before it decides to register.
Ooh, and let's not forget environments. Trailers showed bustling towns and alien landscapes with insane detail. Actual gameplay though, textures popping in like they just clocked in late for work. That beautifully rendered cityscape? Yeah, it looks like a PS2 game until the graphics finally catch up.
3 seconds later.
This is the classic expectation versus reality meme, but in HD. On one side, Borderlands 4 trailers with smooth 60 FPS, cinematic lighting, perfect combat flow. On the other hand, Borderlands 4 gameplay.
Where shooting a bandit feels like filming on a hand crank camera.
It's like buying a Ferrari because of the freaking commercials, only to find out it's held together with duct tape and occasionally bursts into flames when you start the engine.
Marketing gave us Borderlands 4, reality gave us Laglands 4.
If you're ever sad, don't go to therapy, just read the Steam reviews for Borderlands 4. Pure comedy gold. Some players are writing heartfelt essays about how the game is almost unplayable, with paragraphs longer than college dissertations. Others are dropping one-liners so brutal they should count as finishing moves.
Finish it!
My personal favorite? Runs worse than my marriage. That's both funny and concerning. And the GPU jokes? Freaking endless! People with RTX 4090s are saying the game runs like it's allergic to frames. Meanwhile, someone with a literal potato PC is claiming it runs fine on their toaster, which means either Gearbox coded this game in black magic,
Or some players are just too traumatized to admit how bad it is.
but the real beauty of these reviews is the creativity. People aren't just complaining, they're roasting with poetry. Borderlands 4 might not deliver peak entertainment through gameplay, but the review section, that's where the real fun is. It's like Gearbox accidentally released a comedy club along with their game. Mixed reviews never felt so accurate. It's not just a rating, it's the perfect summary of
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it takes your whole PC down with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, gamers and gamerettes, welcome to the Optimization Olympics, starring Borderlands 4, the only game where your hardware specs doesn't matter because everyone loses. Ooh, you have a $3,000 rig. Nice, congratulations. You can run the game at a stunning...
37 frames per second while your GPU sounds like it's summoning demons.
Ooh, running a mid-range setup? Ay. Prepare to experience Borderlands 4 as a slideshow with each new frame feeling like a collector's item. Honestly, the optimization is so inconsistent it's practically a slot machine. Boot up the game, maybe you'll get smooth gameplay, maybe you'll get a PowerPoint presentation, maybe you'll get an instant crash. Who needs loot RNG when the performance itself is randomized? The irony. And the kicker, the game might have just been released, but every patch will feel like a gamble too. Mark my words. One fix might stabilize your frame rate, another might just introduce a new crash bug. At this point, playing Borderlands 4 isn't gaming, it's beta testing. Except a small little detail.
We paid full price for the privilege.
Optimization, this bad deserves its own boss fight. Forget the raid bosses, forget the Void Hunters. The true boss is stability, and right now, nobody's beating it. Now guys, here is the heartbreaking part. Borderlands 4 is fun. When it actually works, the guns are ridiculous, the humor is classic Borderlands chaos, and the world feels unhinged as ever. Claptrap is still a menace, the dialogue is still over the top, and the loot system is as addictive as it's always been. But unfortunately, it's buried under freaking crashes, stutters, and performance issues so constant they kill the vibe. It's like trying to enjoy a gourmet meal while someone keeps pulling the fire alarm.
Eventually, you stop tasting the food and just want the noise to stop.
Borderlands has always thrived on its ability to not take itself too seriously. It's loud, it's dumb, it's self-aware. And here is the freaking crappy part. Borderlands 4 nails that energy, but all of that gets overshadowed when players are too busy troubleshooting settings instead of laughing at punchlines. I swear, the game had everything lined up to be a hit, but instead of being remembered as the next great looter shooter, it's already being filed under
Another unoptimized launch.
That is not just wasted potential, it's gaming deja vu. We've seen this with Cyberpunk, we've seen this with Gotham Knights, and now Borderlands joins the freaking club. Now guys, bear in mind, Borderlands 4 launched at full AAA price, but the performance makes it feel like an early access game still finding its identity. $70 for what? A loot shooter or a live stress test for your hardware? Players aren't Vault Hunters anymore, they're guinea pigs testing whether their PC can survive a single firefight Sorry guys, firefight without combusting. It's the oldest trick in the gaming industry. Charge premium, deliver... sorry guys, I'm still stuck on that firefight. Deliver chaos. You're not just buying Borderlands 4, you're buying hope. Hope that one day a patch will roll in and make the game resemble the thing you thought you purchased.
Until then, it's like paying for a 5-star hotel and being handed a tent with a hole in it.
And don't forget, microtransactions are lurking in the shadows, sharpening their
Chic.
knives. Gearbox has the freaking audacity to charge full price while handing players a half-baked product, then still wave shiny cosmetics in your face like, hey, you want to look good while your game crashes?
No, thank you, Gearbox. I want to freaking play. Looking good while my rig dies doesn't make it any better.
And it's time to repeat my famous line. Gamers aren't dumb. They know when they're being milked harder than a Skyrim re-release. And Borderlands 4's performance issues only highlight how hollow this industry trick has become. Launch broken, patch later, pray people forget.
Spoiler alert, they don't.
In the end, the price tag is a cruel joke. Borderlands 4 costs $70 on Steam, but the true price, your patience, your sanity, and at least 2 extra case fans to keep your GPU from roasting itself alive. The real question here though isn't whether Borderlands 4 gets fixed, it's whether players still care by the time it does. Sure, gamers have short memories, but they are also vindictive.
Very, very vindictive.
Burn us once, we will roast you forever. Borderlands 4 could end up polished in 6 months, but by then, the hype train's already derailed and on fire. Gearbox now faces a trust problem bigger than any raid boss. Fans waited years for this installment. They wanted chaos, humor, and insane loot drops, not a crash simulator. And when you break trust with your core audience, it's hard to win them back. Just ask CD Projekt Red. Even Cyberpunk's comeback took years of updates, anime tie-ins, and community groveling. The tragedy here is that Borderlands isn't just some random IP, it's a cornerstone of looter shooters. It defined the genre with its insane weapons, irrelevant humor, and distinct comic book style. For it to stumble this hard feels like watching a rock star forget the lyrics mid-concert and then face plant into the drum kit. There's also the bigger picture, Gearbox's reputation. 1 flop, forgivable. 2, suspicious. But a major release like Borderlands 4 going this wrong, that's a scar. People will hesitate to pre-order Borderlands 5, or worse, they will move on to other franchises that respect their time and money. So yeah, Gearbox has a shot at redemption, but until they fix Borderlands 4, release a heartfelt apology and maybe throw in a free DLC or 2 as peace offerings, the community is going to remember this disaster as the time Borderlands
became Refundlands.
Oh, and the trust? Once it's broken, it takes more than a hotfix to rebuild. So, where does that leave us? Now guys, listen. Borderlands 4 isn't a bad game. It's just buried inside a performance nightmare. And that's honestly almost worse because you can see the fun peeking through the cracks. It's like watching a great band try to perform while the power keeps going out. You guys, the fans, deserved better. The series deserved better. And honestly, Steam reviews being more entertaining than the actual game is the biggest punchline of all. Because at the end of the day, Borderlands 4 should have been the game we couldn't stop playing. Instead, it's the game we can't stop roasting. If Gearbox patches this mess, there is hope. But right now, this isn't Borderlands 4. It's Refundlands/Laglands 4. And if you survived long enough to make it past the crashes, congratulations.
You just unlocked the rarest loot of all. Patience.
But hey, listen, this is just my take. What do you guys think? Is Borderlands 4 the next great looter shooter buried under bad optimization, or is it just Refundlands 4 doomed to live forever as a comedy show on Steam reviews? Drop your thoughts below. I need to know if I'm the only one whose GPU started crying. And guys, thank you once again for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content in the future. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.